बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम।
शुरू अल्लाह का नाम लेकर जो बड़ा मेहरबान निहायत रहम वाला है।
इन्ना अअतैनाकल कौसर,
ए नबी सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम, हमने तुमको कौसर यानी बहुत ज्यादा भलाई अता फरमाई है।
फसल्लि लिरब्बिक वन्हर,
तो अपने परवरदिगार के लिए नमाज पढ़ा करो और कुर्बानी किया करो।
इन्न शानिअक हुवल अबतर,
कुछ शक नहीं कि तुम्हारा दुश्मन ही बेनाम रहेगा।
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. His Excellency Dr. Ponchai Danvivatna, Secretary General Asia Cooperation Dialogue, Ambassador Khalid Mahmood, Chairman Board of Governors, Institute of Strategic Studies, Islamabad, Ambassador Sohail Mahmood, Director General, Institute of Strategic Studies, Islamabad, Mr. Amir Ahmed Atozai, Director General, East Asia and Pacific, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning and very warm welcome to all of you. It's my pleasure to welcome Secretary General Asia Cooperation Dialogue to this important roundtable today. Asia Cooperation Dialogue is an intergovernmental organization established in June 2002 in Thailand. Since then, ACD has scaled new heights as it provides a platform to Asian countries to exchange views on areas of mutual interest, including peace and development. ACD puts Asian continent as center of its activities and work. It is the first Asia-wide organization spanning regions such as West Asia, South Asia, East Asia, and Northeast Asia. ACD at present comprises 35 countries, and Pakistan is one of the founding members of ACD. ACD holds regular meetings at ministerial level under ACD Forum. Ladies and gentlemen, 21st century is often termed as Asian century. For Asia to advance collectively, a continent-wide organization provides an important forum to exchange views and cooperation beyond regions. ACD has potential to be an important platform for dialogue and international cooperation on key issues and explore global solutions in areas of energy, water, environment, connectivity, and sustainability for shared benefits and development of Asia. In the context, Pakistan has consistently attached high-level importance to ACD. Pakistan supports aims and objectives of ACD and believes that the platform will play a crucial role in realizing Pan-Asia cooperation. On its part, Pakistan hosted the 4th ministerial meeting of ACD in Islamabad in 2005. Now Pakistan is prime mover for pillar of connectivity and co-prime mover for the pillar of culture and tourism in the ACD. Pakistan has supported establishment of joint working group along with other member states on both pillars and now is working towards expanding connectivity across Asia. Ladies and gentlemen, with this brief introduction, we look forward to hearing from His Excellency the Secretary General, Asia Cooperation Organization today. I would first invite Ambassador Sohail Mahmood, Director General of ISI, to deliver his welcome remarks. Just brief intro of Ambassador Sohail. He has been a career foreign service officer with diplomatic experience of 37 years that included assignments at Ministry of Foreign Affairs as well as Pakistan's missions abroad. From April 2019 to September 2022, Ambassador Sohail served as 30th Foreign Secretary of Pakistan. Prior to that, he has served as Pakistan's High Commissioner to India and Ambassador to Turkey and Thailand. He holds Masters in International Affairs from Columbia University. Sir, you have the floor, please.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Excellencies, distinguished guests, Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning. It is a great privilege to welcome to ISSI our distinguished guests, His Excellency Dr. Ponchai Danvivatna, Secretary General of the Asia Cooperation Dialogue, popularly known through its acronym, the ACD. The Secretary General is paying his first visit to Pakistan in this capacity and has had fruitful talks at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and with other stakeholders. On 7th February, he called on the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs and exchanged views on ways to deepen cooperation within the ACD framework. The ACD, as we all know, was launched at Chaam, Thailand in June 2002. At that meeting, 18 Asian foreign ministers participated. As has been highlighted, initiated by Thailand, the ACD is envisaged to be a continent-wide cooperative framework which aims to incorporate every Asian country in its fold and build an Asian community. It also seeks to forge Asian unity and contribute to mutual peace and prosperity. ACD neither seeks to duplicate other organizations nor create a bloc against others. As such, openness and inclusivity are the guiding principles for this forum. So far, ACD has 35 members. It has a permanent headquarters in Kuwait. Pakistan, as has been noted, is among the founding members of the ACD. The Asian Cooperation Dialogue convenes both at the ministerial and summit level. The ACD's working mechanisms have two dimensions or two tracks. One, dialogue, and two, projects. In the realm of projects, members voluntarily become prime movers or co-prime movers in areas of their interest and priorities. Ever since joining the forum, Pakistan has been regularly participating in the ACD meetings. Pakistan hosted the fourth ministerial meeting in Islamabad in April 2005. That meeting culminated in the adoption of the Islamabad Declaration on Cooperation in Finance, Energy Security, Flow of Capital and Investment. At the second ACD summit in Thailand in 2016, Pakistan became prime mover for connectivity and co-prime mover for tourism. Connectivity, as we all know, is a linchpin in all our endeavors for stability, inclusive growth, and sustainable development. Thailand had contemplated a roadmap in 2014 which focused on 7 priority areas, namely institutional infrastructure, telecommunication connectivity, energy security and connectivity, food security and mobility, financial connectivity and security, tourism, and human development. Appropriately, this roadmap accords equal importance to both hard and soft connectivity, that is, in its physical infrastructure realm as well as in the people-to-people domain. We are delighted that the Secretary General has agreed to speak to us on this important theme. His talk today is titled Development Through Connectivity, the Asian Perspective. We hope that while enlightening us on this subject, the Secretary General would shed light on how Pakistan and ACD can work together to promote pan-Asian connectivity and also how the ACD Secretariat could facilitate dialogue and cooperation projects among member states on subjects of both connectivity and tourism. We also hope we could benefit from the Secretary General's wise guidance as to how ACD's overall vision of building an Asian community could be advanced. Let me take this opportunity to also thank the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and in particular Director General Amir Ahmad Atozai for working with ISSI in organizing this talk. I once again welcome the Secretary General and other guests and thank them for their participation in what promises to be an engaging session. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your remarks. I would now like to invite Mr. Amir Ahmed Atozai to deliver his remarks. Mr. Atozei is presently Director General East Asia and Pacific at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Earlier, he served as Pakistan's High Commission, Australia, as Deputy High Commissioner. He has also worked in Pakistan missions in Moscow and Dhaka. You have the floor, please.
Thank you, sir. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. His Excellency Dr. Ponchai Danvivatna, the Secretary General of the ACD, His Excellency Ambassador Khalid Mahmood, Chairman Board of Governors of the ISSI, His Excellency Ambassador Suhail Mahmood, DG ISSI, Dr. Talat Shabir Saab, Director CPSC, distinguished guests, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum, Swadika, and a very good morning to you all. It's indeed a great honor and pleasure for me to join today's August gathering. Pakistan, as a founding member of the ACD, has a long history of association and collaboration with the organization. It's a matter of great satisfaction that the Asia Cooperation Dialogue process has now been successfully transformed into a robust institutional mechanism. The commendable regularity of ACD meetings is a manifestation of its vibrancy and the faith manifested in the idea of the Asian community and its prospects. Asia remains the fastest growing region of global economy. However, we continue to face challenges like poverty, food security, water scarcity, inadequate health facilities, illiteracy, climate change, and natural disasters. ACD is based upon the realization that these challenges cannot be overcome without collective efforts. Ladies and gentlemen, a key element in our capacity to respond to these challenges is connectivity. ACD Blueprint 2017-2021 and the roadmap for ACD regional connectivity are important milestones in this respect which need to be put into action. A seamlessly connected Asia will be an Asia which is economically vibrant, politically stable, financially integrated, and culturally appreciative of its diversity. I believe that Pakistan can be a major hub in all these aspects. Ladies and gentlemen, Pakistan is positioned to carry forward the vision of making this region a global hub of prosperity and economic activity. We have a consumer market of around 220 million, a long coastline, in a modern road and railways infrastructure. Excellencies, I'm happy to note that we have successfully established a joint working group on connectivity. We look forward to early convening of the inaugural meeting of the executive committee of this joint working group. In line with its obligations as the prime mover for connectivity, Pakistan is at the center of efforts to connect our region. We have recently liberalized our visa policy, opening doors for enhancing trade and tourism. We have also launched e-visa system and provided lucrative incentives for foreign investors. We believe infrastructure development is pivotal to regional connectivity. The China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, a flagship project under the One Belt, One Road initiative, has the potential to connect South Asia with Central Asia and West Asia. It will provide high-speed corridors from upcountry to port cities, reducing travel time and operating costs. Financial and structural reforms have made Pakistan an investment-friendly country with cheap labor and a huge market. Excellencies, Pakistan believes that ACD can provide enormous opportunities to the people of the Asian countries to embark upon the path of a sustainable development strategy, both politically and regionally, in sync with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. We need to synergize the efforts of ACD with regional organizations such as ASEAN, SAARC, ECO, GCC, and others to reinforce the initiatives of one with the momentum of others. This will help to capitalize on the region's potential. Ladies and gentlemen, we are fully committed to ACD's Vision 2030 and the Bangkok Declaration and welcome the establishment of ACD's Permanent Secretariat in Kuwait. Pakistan believes in ACD's founding values of positive thinking, informality, openness, consensus, voluntarism, respect for diversity, and comfort levels of all member states. And along with this, a proactive and result-oriented outreach and approach. We must seize the momentum for achieving the goal of transforming our diverse strengths into a new socio-economic architecture for a progressive, stable, and prosperous Asia. I thank you all.
Thank you, Atozi Saab, for your remarks. Before inviting the keynote speaker and introducing him, I would like to apprise the Excellency that on the table we have practitioners of international relations, practitioners of diplomacy, we have scholars on connectivity, we have scholars on CPAC, and many would be interested to listen to you on the title of Asian Development Through Connectivity, Asian Perspective. Ladies and gentlemen, His Excellency Dr. Ponchai Davanvatna, Secretary General of Asia Cooperation. He is an international law expert by training and education. He has been an associate judge at Central Intellectual Property and International Trade Court, Thailand. He has also served as ASEAN Coordinator for Emergency Safeguards Measures, Chairman WTO Committee on Safeguards, Geneva. He holds LLM in International Legal Studies from New York University. Excellency, you have the floor, please.
Thank you very much for your kind words of introduction. Excellencies, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of all 35 ACD member states, it is an honor and a privilege for me to address the Roundtable on Development Through Connectivity, Asian Perspective, with the Director of CPSC as moderator. I thank the Institute of Strategic Studies, Islamabad, China-Pakistan Study Center, and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for the cordial invitation and warm welcome extended to me during my business trip to Pakistan. Excellencies, the term development or development policy usually connotes modernization or development measures for the betterment of all walks of life. In this context, the UN Sustainable Development Goals, or UN SDGs, are always referred to as a shared blueprint for peace and prosperity. It covers a vast area of actions and issues needed to be addressed by all countries in a global partnership. Sustainable development is the core principle underpinning the Millennium Development Goals, or MDGs, in 2000 and spill over to SDGs in 2015. The question is how to achieve sustainable development given the need for immediate or accelerated development that all nations are in need on the one hand, and the necessity to protect the environment on the other hand. My answer to this is to strike the balance between the right to development and the duty to protect the environment. To that end, effective management of resources, including human resources, is key to implement it, to make development sustained in the long run. This may be further discussed, if time permits, later. Please allow me now to turn to connectivity, which, in my view, helps facilitate trade and development, since it accelerates globalization, particularly freer flows of movement of goods, services, and people. Connectivity could be illustrated differently from region to region. However, it involves more or less physical or non-physical components. To elaborate, in the ACD context, as an example, it could cover infrastructure improvements and upgrading of land, sea, and air transportation. Connectivity is meant to alleviate economic and social disparities, both within countries and across Asia's sub-regions. Such components of physical connectivity, connectivity network, institutional connectivity, to minimize disruption of supply chains, while promoting and facilitating inter and intra-regional movement of goods, services and people are all reflected in ACD Blueprint 2021 to 2030. This is how the ACD as a whole wants to attain development through connectivity. Yesterday, when I had a meeting with the Secretary of the Ministry of Planning, Development and Special Initiatives, I learned with appreciation how much Pakistan has spent on transport connectivity, road network, transmission line with its neighboring countries, as well as new measures, for example, as DG Atosai mentioned, online visa or visa portal, including cooperation under CPEC and etc. On the 7th of February, the Minister of State advised me how to develop further in the context of ACD, which of course the way she set the tone for my statement under discussion this morning. What came to my mind as takeaway includes the following. First and foremost, seems to me that connectivity has its common dimension in every sub-region, in the sense that the Asian countries should explore further on how connectivity could be used to promote development to the greatest extent. The reason being that Asia has a lot of human resources which are a huge asset to drive the economy forward. Member states of the ACD, including Pakistan, have upgraded infrastructure within their own countries. Only the missing links need to be focused and truly connected with one another to support human connection and social connectedness of peoples with different culture, religious beliefs, and development levels. In return, it would promote better understanding between and among countries in Asia. In so doing, human security and regional stability will be inevitably strengthened. This is the benefit attributable to connectivity. Secondly, connectivity in Asian perspective requires interactions among sub-regional and regional groupings to work together, as the moderator rightly said, and also endorsed by the director of ISSI, to work together in order to save costs and any duplication of work. Thirdly, development through connectivity, particularly according to ACD Blueprint, is closely related to all areas of cooperation. In other words, development requires an interdisciplinary approach, which we may have to overcome in order to deal or address the development gap and digital divide. With that in mind, the ACD is a platform for cooperation so that the Asian countries could discuss among themselves on ways and means to address new challenges together in Asian perspective and on the premise of availability of resources. Fourthly, people-to-people connectivity helps spur trade and development and should be given priority no less than infrastructure or physical connectivity. At the same time, it can contribute a lot to public diplomacy and development in good neighborliness between and among countries in a sustainable way, because people are the foundation of a country. Fifthly, Asia should be mindful that development through connectivity is to be guided by UN SDGs, or the concept of sustainable development at all times. Once again, the ACD Blueprint could be referred to for appropriate approaches and common action by all stakeholders, since it illustrates actions and measures for implementation. I'm glad to hear that Pakistan is prepared to lead the working group on connectivity sooner or later as they think fit. I would like to conclude my remarks due to time constraint by drawing the audience's attention to study further the disadvantages or drawback of connectivity, among others, the development gap and digital divide, while encouraging all Asian countries to make the best use of Asia's soft power like sports, culture, and intellectual property, particularly traditional knowledge, to deliver the national development agenda, in addition to resorting to connectivity alone. Nothing is impossible in my view, and I always have my fingers crossed if we join hands together. Together we share, and together we care. Thank you very much.
So, Excellency, thank you very much for your very candid